Hi, Annelies James here, founder of 22 Midnight, a marketing agency that specializes in videography and personal branding. Thank you so much for joining me today and enjoying these 25 ways to persuade and influence people. These tips cross over into real life and in social media content, and I hope you find something of interest. So 25 ways to persuade, influence, and win business with 22 Midnight, because we know what we're doing. Yes, we do. We've been in business now for 5 years, and in that time, we've won all sorts of business and worked all across the world, and also had so many opportunities in all sorts of different ways, from hosting events to working away. It's been actually an incredible journey. So I hope that some of these tips will really help you. I call myself a brand and digital content strategist, but really I'm just a good human and cat-obsessed woman, let's be honest. So what we're talking about when we're talking about persuasion and influence is we're talking about certainty. When you show up, when you are putting your head above the parapet, when you're saying something and you've got something to say, that is persuasive. And it's really, really important to know exactly what you're going to say and say it with absolute clarity and certainty so that people do believe it. Because the sooner that they believe it, the sooner they will act on their beliefs. So the basics of persuasion and influence is that you're really understanding who you are as a person and your values and who you actually are and what your voice is, what you're saying. You understand your influence strategies, which we're going to go through today. You prepare to share your vulnerability and get more personal in the way that you communicate, because if you're more personal, that will create emotional and personal connection with others. You commit yourself to being consistent. And if that's once a week, that's cool. If that's multiple times a week, that's great. The more consistent you are, the quicker and easier it will be to influence and persuade others. And then develop a plan around how you're going to be persuasive and influential. So what influence do you think that you have? Here are some influence strategies that exist. A lot of people, A, don't think about these, or B, don't know they've got them, but people have multiple of these. So, reverent. Are you likable and respected? Probably yes. So therefore, immediately, that is an influence strategy. Do you reward people? So rewarding can be incentivizing people through perks or pay, but obviously it could be offers and rewards for working with you using your services, or giving kickbacks to other people for recommending you. Information, you probably have access to specific information that other people don't, which gives you power. Connections, likewise, you probably have alliances or associations with brands and people that have power or some sort of influence themselves, and that can help you to have more influence yourself. You might be a founder of a business, or might have a specific role in a company, which leads to legitimate, so a role or title in a company. But in either case, a legitimate or founder, you've got a perceived level of knowledge through experience, or a perceived level of knowledge because you've got a specific job title. Coercion, we don't really do that here, so I'm not going to talk about that one. Expert, though, you do definitely in some way or other have an expert level of knowledge and skill that no one else has. So tell people about that. That's something to shout about. Are you charismatic? Probably. Even if you're introverted, you are able to create communications and relationships with people and bring some sort of charm or joy, especially if you love what you do, whether it's a business or a role. Talking about what you love, talking about, what attracted you to your company or your business or your role, it creates joy for other people. And finally, are you moral? So do you have specific beliefs, behaviors that really inspire others? So there's 6 ways to create influence and persuasion with people, and they are reciprocity, scarcity, authority, consistency, liking, and consensus. So reciprocity, again, we're talking about reward and referrals. So rewarding people for referring you, rewarding people for working with you, whether it's at Christmas time when you send all your clients a hamper, or you give a kickback to people who refer you. This is reciprocity. Recommending others. is reciprocal. It's something that you can do and it's something that they can do. But again, it garners that good feeling. Always offering solutions is reciprocity. You're giving back. So rather than being like, can't do that, say, can't do that, but I can do this, or I can suggest this, or this person, let me connect you here with this other company. Share your emotion and vulnerability. This creates empathy, and sharing is reciprocity. It's giving. Develop ways to showcase others, which creates indebtedness. Now, this does sound a little bit Machiavelli, and I do understand that, but it's actually a really powerful tool when you showcase others. It helps them to feel more comfortable. You're helping to help their business, to help their brand. There's brand alliance going on here. So, for example, for me, I run something called Colleagues Getting Coffee. And Colleagues Getting Coffee is a business give back channel that brings leaders together to share their insights. So I basically interview someone and try and pull out of them all of the nuggets of interest that people can watch online and enjoy it. It costs me nothing except my time to make it. People like to come on and talk, but it creates indebtedness. The people who've come on the talk before often think, oh, I had a great experience. That was a great chat and I got showcased for free. So what can I do for Annelies? Even if they're not consciously thinking that, they are subconsciously thinking that. So it's a great way to get reciprocity there. So scarcity and consistency. So number 11, we want to be seen to be busy, but not busy wasting our time. If you're seen to be busy, it creates a feeling that you are successful, and people like successful people. People don't like it when it's a bit uncomfortable and, you know, like people come across as desperate. So it's really good to be seen to be busy, but not too busy. If you're sharing every single thing you've been to, like, oh, I took a train to this conference. Oh, I just had a chat with this person. Oh, I found this marketing piece of information. It can be too much. And actually, you can look like a busy fool. So being busy, but not too busy, wasting time is really, really key. Similarly, the same with networking, not going to every single networking that there is, choosing, being selective. Number 12, be publicly consistent in real life and online. Don't establish yourself as a specific kind of brand or personality, and then in real life be slightly different. Be absolutely consistent across the board. And part of my brand, I suppose, is vulnerability. So I'll share online vulnerability, and then in real life, I'll also share vulnerability. I'm not afraid of that. So that's just a little example of how that could work. Embrace active and reactive content. So this is obviously a good way to be consistent, because what you're doing is active content is when you're posting blogs you've written, videos you've made, social media content, but then reactive is when you're commenting, liking, sharing other people's content, but it's all in the same universe of stuff. So for example, I used to work in apprenticeships and I used to share loads and loads of things around apprenticeships and training and learning, and that basically created this little sphere of what I was known for. Now that's marketing, personal branding and video, so you can easily change the focus, but it takes a little bit of a while to help people follow you. Don't deviate from your language strategy, personalization, tone and branding. So if you're going to establish yourself in a kind of a branding way and put yourself out there to be someone influential and persuasive, you want to make sure that you stay consistent all the time. So we want to make sure that we use similar language, we use similar colors, we use similar phrases, we use similar emojis. Really keep that little world, create that little world for yourself, and then keep that world the same. Also, in your language, you can use scarcity. So there's some power term words coming up that you might want to bring into some of your communications that will help you to create that desire, that need, that want for people to definitely use your services. And team that with always being busy. People are like, oh, can I please book you? Can I get myself in your diary somehow? So let's have a look at some of these power terms. Again, so we've got imply scarcity here, but all of these different words can really help you if you weave them into your social media channels. So scarcity, we're going to look at briefly. So limited offer, today only, supplies are running out, only 10 available. You don't have to use these really heavy-handedly. Weave them in a way that feels comfortable to you. don't go hard into sales mode, because also people won't love that unless sales is really your brand. If that's your brand, then, cool. So shareable, so increase, tell us, develop, take, improve, winner, help, see, promote. These words are statistically proven to persuade, to increase your power, and to create buying. So buying words specifically: now, new, best, limited, hurry. So you can just trial some of these, handpick some of these, put them in your little world of content and your little world of language, and then test the water and see how you get on. So authority is another one of our influence and persuasion categories. So what we're going to do is, with authority, we're going to listen first and we're going to hold silence. It is amazing how uncomfortable people feel with silence. But silence is great. I could be silent. I could just be silent now. Like I've done a lot of counselling training, and I'm quite comfortable in silence. And it's really important. It's actually a sales technique, is when you're listening to a client and they say something and you're silent, it can really help you in the sales domain. It can help you to land that deal. But silence generally it gives people space to sit and think and be and feel like you're there with them and you're present, but you're not forcing yourself on them. So it's I think silence is probably one of my favorite tools of all time, actually. Also, don't be afraid to tell your client the outcome. Tell your client what they can expect to work with you, when you're going to deliver something, what it's going to look like, what has been good for other clients that you've worked with. Tell them. You are the expert in your field. So tell them the outcome, because they want to be, people don't want to think. They don't want to think, they want to be told. They want to just know that it's going to be great and tell them. Similarly, be assertive with timescales and deliverables. If you say it's going to be in their inbox, it's in their inbox. If you're going to be realistic, if you're going to give them timescales, you make sure you do not break that timescale. You're like, that will be with you next Friday, done. And it is with them next Friday. Maybe, if not just before Friday. Always over deliver is always a great way to create that trust and influence and persuasion. And people think, wow, bloody hell, they're so good. And they definitely always get it to me. In fact, they always get it to me the day before they say. Perfect. Use social proof to sell you. So I can tell you all day long that I'm particularly good at making videos, but someone else telling you, or me showing you videos that I've created, will be much better. I don't want to tell you I'm good at that. I want other people to tell you that. Or I want to show you something I've made that you think, God, that's bloody great. So whatever social proof you can find, reviews, testimonials, recommendations, example work, portfolios, plans you've created for clients, whatever it is, share it. If it's shareable, share it. And associate with good brands and people and strong brands. So again, we're going back to that association thing that was in that first kind of group of influence strategies. Other people have done the work. If other people have established brands and established reputation, you can just piggyback off the back of that. And that's great. So associate yourself with good brands and people. Don't be like, oh, hi, I'm stood next to this person, let hopefully some glitter rubs off. No. Create a real connection with these brands and these people, and then, showcase that relationship. And also, a thing of authority I have found in my experience is picking up the phone or emailing just because. I think it's important, especially as a woman in business, to take up space. And I will make an excuse to get in touch with a client just because, like, I'm going to a certain event and I think that they might benefit from it too. So I'm just going to let them know about that. Or I'm just like, oh, hey, how are you? Haven't spoken to you for a bit. What's going on? I have no agenda to sell them anything. I'm just taking up space and letting them know that I'm there and I'm there for them. And often, because I'm giving, and that's one of my brand values, I'll often give them a bit of advice, or if they're in a certain industry, I'll tell them that something I'm doing with another industry client, and it gives them some inspo. That's a great thing to do to get more business with that client, but not in an obvious way. And then number 21 is always deliver. Like if you say you're going to do something, do it. Do it, do it, do it. So liking and consensus. Be easy to work with and happy to be here. This is my number one motto. Alongside, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. But be easy to work with and happy to be here. 100%. And sometimes I've really got, like, I've had a difficult client maybe, and I've been getting a bit testy and a bit irritable and a bit, oh, this is not cool. I don't like it. It doesn't make me feel good. And I have a breath and I think, okay, just be easy to work with and happy to be here. And I step back and I think that everything becomes much easier. So yours might not be that, but that's a good way to build liking and consensus, is to choose that specific saying, but you could choose something similar that's of your own ilk. And then stand for something bigger than yourself. Again, people like people who stand for something. And I like that old adage of if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. So stand for something bigger than yourself. So I stand for all sorts of things, especially showcasing others, especially helping women, especially mentoring people to help them come along and establish themselves and build confidence and feel empowered. These are bigger things than myself. I ran TEDx Southampton 2 years ago, and that was something bigger than myself because I wanted to do it and I wanted to showcase people and I wanted to inspire the region. That's great. What do you do that stands for something bigger than just yourself? 24 is use other people and their words to sell you. So going back to the one we just talked about on the other page, but this is specifically using their words. So if anyone puts a comment on your social media or they post like, oh, you're such a superstar, thanks so much, or a review, use it. If you can film your clients talking about you in testimonials, that's amazing, because other people are looking at that specific person, knowing that that person worked with you and that person is quite like them. So they want to work with you because they know that you two get on, you get on. And if they didn't like you before and they see someone that they like talking about you, they'll probably just like you. So use other people's words to sell you, and show your customers themselves and show you understand their very specific needs. So this is similar. So if you filmed your clients giving you a recommendation or referral, testimonial, you're showing your customer themselves. But in all of your images, all of your videos, all of your content, where you can show a customer, talk about their specific problem. So I like to work with marketing managers. So I can talk about, how ChatGPT can help them with marketing planning. That's a blog I could write, because it'll speak to a marketing manager and they'll think, oh yeah, actually, yeah, that's kind of cool. I could probably do that just for a starter for 10, not to write the whole thing, but to just start the journey. And I can talk about that because I think, yeah, marketing managers are busy. It's one campaign, another campaign, another campaign, another campaign. So I understand their need and I talk about their need and I tell them what I can do to help them. And then they want me to do that. So it is 25, but hey, let's do one more. Confirmation language. So use questions or statements that command agreeableness. So do you think? What do you think? Yeah. Can you see? Confirmation statements are ones that make people nod and say yes. Yeah. So starting to get people to think about it and start agreeing with you subconsciously will help lead to more confirmation and more agreeableness later. Don't you think? See, I just did it. So just add it on. You just tack it on to the end of what you're saying. Yeah? Right? Can you see what I mean? Add it on to your statements. Another one that my lovely friend Adele Deasy told me about is when you're asking someone to do something for you, instead of saying please, at the end you say, can you move that chair? Thank you. Because thank you automatically assumes that they've done it, whereas please is a question. They can opt in or out. But if you say thank you, it's assumed that they've done it, so they just do it. People want an easy life. They just want to go in a direction. And I think, I don't know about you, but I feel like this as a person. Like I want to just know what direction I'm going. And if I meet someone who's assertive and they're doing something I want, I'm going to go for it all day long. So in short, that is my talk on persuasion and influence. 26 actually different strategies I'd suggest. If you'd like a download of my brand influence and psychology guide, I've got a free download on my website, just under the learn section, and you can download it. You just have to pop your email in. So yeah, you can just grab that, and it's got all sorts of stuff around the power terms and social media and other bits and bobs. So hopefully that is of use for you. So otherwise, if you have any questions at all, feel free to get in touch with me. I'm more than happy to chat with people about this, about how to implement this, about social media strategy, about videography. Video is definitely my bag. But otherwise, good luck on persuading and influencing. And please let me know if any of these tips work for you. Have a great day.